Shows an upcoming. And we are live. So there we go. A little buffering going on here, it looks like. It does look like there's a little bit of buffering going on. We're having a little bit of satellite issues. Good morning. YouTube, Facebook, CloutHub, Twitter, all y'all. So I posted up a video this morning and leaving the border inn at Baker, Nevada. So we had left the Ely, town of Ely, the city of Ely, and we worked our way down to Baker, and we spent the night there, actually in the RV park, thanks to Texas Girl, setting up reservations and such, and giving us the donations to be able to spend the night there, dump our tanks, fill our water tanks, everything we needed to do there, and plug in and not have to worry about running the generator for the night. So anyway, good morning, Linda Anderson. Anyway, the plan to move, again, thanks to Jen M, she came up with the term trading up empty miles to miles with people. And so we met some folks in Delta yesterday.
Unknown caller.
We had a lady by the name of Rayette that has come out, and she came out, she saw our signs and said good morning, and brought water and watermelon and fruit and vegetables. A wonderful lady, 100% pure patriot, her husband as well. Visited us several times yesterday, and we've come up with the we came up with the idea of actually putting up a table out there with come talk about freedom, and brought some flags, and we had gone to Tractor Supply back here to get the tire for the trailer, so we'd had a spare, because there was no spare tire on the trailer. We had one tire that was bald on the inside, so that has become our spare. So now we're pretty good. On the trailer's done, so that's pretty good. Whiskey Tango and I took a walk from where we're at, which is a vacant lot by the on the main street by the Tractor Supply, and finish up. We got a folding table. We got a few things to be able to set up the guest book, set up the satchel or the bag for Pony Express, and I see Douglas Doggett. Hey, it's going pretty good. I mean, this bouncing ahead where there's nothing out there, no one out there, no human beings out there to speak to, I think is a sound process, because this movement is not about how many steps I take across the United States, but how many people I gather as I step across the United States. And so we have gotten a pretty good reception. In Baker, we had a couple that came up the morning after that said that they saw the sign, and his wife, they're from Texas, his wife had looked up our website. They read the website and said, yes, thank you, and came over, shook my hand. Wife come over and said hello. That they were behind us 100%, and they were going to start following us. We met a gentleman who's on a ride for a cancer cure that started in Craig, Colorado, going to Newman, California. On his ride, met with him. He wanted to donate, so he took us all to dinner and fed us all. So that was at the Border Inn in Baker. We moved ahead. We ordered the materials, the chemical to be able to put in Beachy to be able to chew up that acid that's been causing blockage. We're going to run that for about a week in the system. That's all completed because Whiskey Tango and I literally walked about 4 miles yesterday. Walked from one end of town to the other, handed out cards, met the local farmer gal that's got a table set up with watermelon and all kinds of vegetables and corn, and talked to the folks at the auto parts store where we got the chemical. Went to the Napa store, got some more stuff in town. So silent, what is this? Silent CY or Silent Lease LCY River. Good morning back to you. So what we're doing is we're spending a little time in Delta. We are organizing with local residents to attempt to have a community walk from just outside of town back into our location here before we move on. We'll be moving on towards Spanish Fork. There's a section before we get up that again is nothing. There's no population. So that when we get up south of Spanish Fork and Payson and all that, now we're talking. We've got some locals that we're kind of setting up to be our local ambassadors. They're calling the local papers. They're calling their resources. Talking to people.
Whiskey's gonna make breakfast.
Whiskey's gonna make breakfast. Fun stuff. Is that the 18 pack, Mr. T?
Yeah, there's only 6 left then.
Beautiful. So, yeah, so that's the plan is today. We're going to set up, hand out more cards. We had people come into our table, talk about freedom, really behind us, talk to the folks at the Tractor Supply and some other places. So today, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to try and set it up so that here on Saturday morning, we can get folks to go out on a community walk with us. So a couple miles. People aren't going to be able to do the 5 miles from the shoe tree outside down the road to here. It's about 5 miles. So we're going to have individuals that'll hopefully, there's a few people that say they will be there, that will walk with us tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. and that they support everything that we're doing. So the locals are right behind us. That's what this is about. This is about getting people. Having people support what it is that we're doing, which is get more people involved with getting our country back. That's the plan. Get the people. Inform the people what it is that they need to do to get involved. How? Well, why? How? Get active. And that's what it is that this walk is for. This walk isn't about counting the number of rocks or the number of coyotes or the number of birds. And that's all great. But that's not what this walk is about. That's not the mission. So we're trading up and we're doing bounce aheads wherever there's large amounts of miles. I mean 30, 40 miles of nothing. We gain time. We have less expenses and fuel and such to be able to do what it is that we're doing. And we get to talk to more people in this finite amount of time that we actually have to get things done. Morning, Zero. So I wanted to do a stream this morning. They're getting heat about not doing the streams. I don't know that y'all know just how difficult doing the setup and running the scenes of trying to do the streams. I can't meet and talk to people and also run the streams. Texas Girl is right now behind the scenes from her home in Oregon running the engine that is going out to 5, 6, 7 different streams. It's a production. Just the video that I posted this morning, I had to edit that, and it wasn't the best of editing, but I did what I could. I had my computer crashing. Finally got it fixed this morning, but I couldn't activate the camera, I couldn't activate the microphone without it crashing, and that went on for several hours. So people have been very quick into saying, hey, we just don't know what's going on. Everybody that is helping in this is taking time out of their schedule to do it. I can't do it alone. I've known that since before I started walking. Come up with the resources and the ability to be able to put people in place that can do something for this walk. And people are doing that. Where, for instance, jumping into Delta the way we did, we got here 2 days before the local newspaper was expecting us. Now we're in the process of catching up to try and get the newspaper out here. Hopefully they'll be out here this morning to talk to me about the community walk for tomorrow. The logistics there's a lot of logistics. That's why we need ambassadors. Miss Rayette, she's a prime example of what can be a local ambassador for this region, if you will. She knows individuals, and she is a firecracker for talking to freedom lovers of this country, from Delta to Spanish Fork and even back into Price, where she grew up. That's the kind of people that we need, that can communicate with their local folks and saying, go check this walk out. And then also the walk ambassadors for freedom that are, that's a community ambassador for the walk. You got the walk ambassadors that are going that we need to be able to go ahead, set up a camp, talk to the locals, create community ambassadors, hand out the cards, get the people involved, get the press ready, get with the media, get the newspapers, get the radio stations, get the chambers of commerce, the sheriff's department, and get them all ready, get them ginned up for what is coming. This guy, I'm nobody real special. This guy's coming in representing freedom. How you can help is to come meet him. Walk with him for a while. As we grow in mass, we scare the hell out of those that are watching, that don't want us to grow. So let's make sure that we're sharing, that we're liking, that we're giving those thumbs up, turning on the notifications, subscribing, and pushing it all out. Like Rayette did yesterday. She took this and she linked it to all the sites that she does for garage sales and so on. as a community ambassador for the walk. So that is the key. Behind the scenes, maintaining the website. I'll be honest, I have a blog. I don't need to be the one and only person writing the blogs, and I have it to bend. To have individuals who are listening, pulling out those little time marks. If you got a 5-hour long stream, and you've got 50 different little time marks to be able to get to that stream and extract out, pull out that content to be able to put it in the blog, doesn't require just me. I was fortunate enough to be able to throw in some time the other day and build up a blog. But the individuals behind the scenes that are supporting and helping out, they have jobs too. And they are doing whatever they can. We need PR. We need somebody who's experienced in doing public relations. The team that we have assembled is small, but they're dedicated. We're doing what it is that we can, so please cut us all a break. I can't be 17 places at the same time. We would love to be able to stream every minute of every day. But for every individual that says, I need that, I want that, I need that, I want that, I need that, I want that, there are people out there saying, man, that's like watching paint dry. You have an equal number. So we're trying to make it good for everyone. And to also engage you. No one's hating on you for wanting the videos. Far from it. No one's hating on you for not wanting the videos. We understand that people have jobs. They get home from their job, they want to click in, and they want the meat of what happened today. I understand that too. But it is a process. And the more volunteers and the more ambassadors that come forth, I do have, by the way, Nightbot has just put up what is the current Discord, which, by the way, I am up in the lounge as we speak. You want to say hi? Go to this Discord link. I'm up there right now in the lounge. Not there every day, but I don't have to be there for y'all to be talking to each other either. So take advantage of that. Thank you, Trucking Girl. Nice to see you in there. So let's get the people. Let's get the volunteers. I know that there's people out there, web designers, web administrators, and our freedom lovers, that maybe they can assist us. Because we are muddling through all of this. We're doing this on our own. We're hoping that somebody will step up and say, I'm in, let me help. This is my ability. I can help this way. And yeah, teriyaki yaki, I get you, man. And everybody wants to see something. There's people that can sit there and watch that and leave it go for hours and hours and hours and hours, and that's good too. Trying to put together a happy medium. For instance, the highlights reel that you just mentioned about the train and all of that. I condensed 2 hours and 40 minutes down to 35 minutes. Took almost 4 hours to do it. Of me sitting at the computer. If I'm sitting at the computer trying to do that, I'm not talking to Joe and Mary and Susan and Stan that I could be talking to. I'm getting them involved into this. So that's where we need help. We definitely need help. We've been calling on the help. But we also need you to really understand the commitment. The commitment to what it is that the help is. The IAO, improvise, adapt, and overcome, is a constant movement. Every day we're looking and seeing what is better than yesterday. What is better for tomorrow? What can we do to better this? What can we do to gain more footing? And a volunteer needs to be able to look at that too. A lot of folks aren't able to do it during the day because they're working, so they want to bring in their 2 cents and help. But some of that stuff needs to be done during the work day. So be patient. Work in groups. Say, hey, I can take on a shift. I get off work at 5 o'clock. I'm on the East Coast, so that's 3 hours ahead of the West Coast. But as we move east, we're starting to parallel up the time. So we need to be able to say, well, can we treat this like a relay race? Hey, these individuals are going to be calling and doing conversations with press. Okay, I'll call these folks. A lot of these people, they can't receive the calls after 5 o'clock. But the individual volunteer isn't available till after 5 o'clock. So these are the things that we're trying to improvise, adapt, and overcome. Move this movement forward. Invite as many people as we can. And I don't care what their view is. If they're into this for freedom, come one, come all. When I'm going to tell a quick story. When I was on the convoy, one of the things that I disagreed with the organization's decision was asking people to remove their flags if they did not have an American flag, a Don't Tread on Me Gaston flag, or a Malone Labe. I disagreed with it. We are a movement that carries a freedom of choice. If somebody wants to fly an FJB flag or Let's Go Brandon flag, that's freedom of choice. Or a Trump 2024 flag or a Biden 2024 flag, it doesn't matter. And I expressed my opinion then to say that was a bad idea to ask people to take the flags down. It was. Hindsight. But I had expressed that I thought it was a bad idea. Look at that. There's the freedom squirrel. How you doing there, Melanie? So this is about freedom. This is about choice, right? You don't knock somebody because they pray this way or they pray that way or they're this skin color or they're that religion or they're this political party. The majority of freedom lovers may lean a different political way than others, but that's their choice, isn't it? So we shouldn't be condemning people. But they all are Americans. All want to see this country thrive and come back to being a constitutional republic.
Unknown caller.
So we need to be cognizant of all of that. And so as a result, we need people. In history, all tyrannical governments, as far back as records are kept, have fallen when the people rise. But you can't go in with 1,000 grievances and say, this is what's wrong with you, or I'm going to replace you, or I'm going to take you out. can't do that and build a movement. If you can, that's one thing. You get 50 million people walking into D.C. and saying, we're here to replace you. Hey, that's the second paragraph of the Declaration of Independence, where we can abolish and replace. So we look for legal ways to be within constitutional documentation. Great. If the people decide that's what we need to do, then the people have made their decision. This movement has a singular target and always has since the first day I joined the convoy back in February in Adelanto. I have not changed that one iota since that day. Because what is hurting the country the most is the state of emergency for COVID-19. They are using that state of emergency as a foundation to build this huge building. This huge building of many floors. Mandates are just 1 or 2 floors. The mask mandates, the vaccine mandates, but what about all the money? Hospitals get money for diagnosing something that is a narrative. Don't go to the hospitals anymore. They're getting money. There's money going to the big pharma. You've got Title 42. You've got people down on the southern border right now trying to fight that. All of this stuff that has a connective tissue to the state of emergency. You end that state of emergency, that is the foundation of this multi-story building, and the building will collapse. So strategy, that's the one target. There's a byproduct of that called accountability. Make those that have abused the state of emergency accountable for their actions. Now, when we end the state of emergency, we need to make sure that it can't be used like this again, which is where the senators come in. We can't allow the change of a congressional number, i.e. the 117th Congress, which happens in November and ends December 30th, December 31st. So January 1, everything that is in this year that we need to move is done. Well, SJRS 38, that had the senators ending the state of emergency and carrying with it the verbiage in which to keep a state of emergency from ever being used in this fashion again, stuck. It passed the Senate. It's stuck on Pelosi's schedule desk. So we need a petition. We need to have a petition to remove it from her desk and put it on the floor for a vote. And you do not do that without people. When you can get all of the people to know that they need to blow up the phones of their representatives, their congressional representatives, and say, I want that bill, I want a petition on that bill so that Pelosi's schedule won't matter anymore. And just push that sucker right to the floor for a vote. If you get 218 votes in the House for the petition, you need 216 to pass the petition when it's on the floor for a vote. We pass it. The resident vetoes it. He just made himself accountable to. We go back to the Senate. We look for the supermajority in the Senate to say, time to overrule the bastard. This is how this works. I can't do it alone. I need every one of you. And when you think we have enough, we'll need more. Pure and simple. Probably need a new one. Yes, please. Thank you. So absolutely. So that's the strategy. Singular target. Let's fight that. That's what's hurting us the most. Now, people have said, well, what if they killed the state of emergency by the time you get to Ohio? Well, great. We still have the accountability, right? We still have to go after those who used it in the wrong way. For those who took our Article 3 powers of our Constitution, our ability to even fight, when they start stepping on our Bill of Rights, it's gone with the state of emergency in place. Someone steps on your Fifth Amendment rights, you can't even go and hire a frickin' constitutional lawyer to fight a case because of the state of emergency. Focus. End the state of emergency, then we go for accountability and we take their butts out. You look at what happened to Hitler and his regime. It took decades for the accountability. It took mere days to expose them. We need to expose them. Then we make them accountable. We're in a finite amount of time here, folks. We need to grow in numbers like never before. Let me say it again. We have to grow in numbers like never before. Where we command the streets. Law enforcement simply has to abide for the protest. It's that simple. We need to get the numbers up. No one in history has ever done what I'm attempting to do. No one. Lots of people have walked across this country for a cause. No one has ever asked to have people join in by the millions. Enemy combatant flying around. We need the volunteers. We got to communicate with the volunteers. I know there are people who are retired, who have connections, who know how to do things, who can pick up the phone, do the emails, and keep the logs, who you speak to. You think I can get this real quick? No, missed it. Badminton with enemy combatants. Somebody will be calling PETA on me. Come on. Flip right around it. They'll get on there and hop on my nose. GreyWolf fighting with a fly. Yeah. So the other thing is the donations, monetary donations. To create a movement like this is not free. We need people to, he just flew right in front of me. We need people to understand that every day that goes by is more expenses. We went through 30 gallons of fuel coming from Ely to here in the Beechwood. If I would have been walking, we would have doubled that. Plus we would have used up all the generator juice as well. So we would have used between 60 and 90 gallons for the same amount of miles. So we saved a lot of expenses. Man. We saved a lot of expenses. And we saved days. So let's get these people out. Let's tell people, join in. Now, this works differently than a convoy. This is more of a caravan than it is a convoy, but it still needs people. And we can't have a convoy of 100 vehicles, so we've got to keep it short, maybe 5 vehicles. So everybody that does decide to come out, they need to be able to park ahead, become an ambassador, a walk ambassador, finding a place for us to be able to park all the vehicles. A logistical nightmare, even for the convoy, right? Rally up the locals, bring them together, have them come into our tent and say, we need to go forward. You can go forward in assistance, virtually or physically. We need those shuttles to be able to shuttle people from the town back to the walk line. Stay along every mile or so to be able to take those who can't make it more than a mile or so back on the bus. Maybe they'll get off on another mile, but the bus keeps moving it forward every mile or so. We don't have that bus. We don't have a volunteer to be able to drive that bus. I'm sure there's a retiree out there somewhere and a church or somebody that's got a shuttle bus that they can allow us to use. But I can't make all those phone calls. I can't make all those contacts. We need volunteers for doing that. Drumming them up. Grey Wolf, the walk needs a bus. We're not asking you to give us a bus. We're asking you to loan it to us in the name of freedom. And find a retired driver that can drive it. He is messing with me. He knows he's got like 3 days to live and he's just messing with me. So I think that we've got a good plan. I'm sure it'll adapt again, but as it stands right now, if we spend a little bit of time in each of the towns that we come to, that we've jumped to get to, rather than just blowing through town saying hi, 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 and we set up shop and say, this is why I'm walking. Come join my party. And let's make it your party. We need to get ready for something big. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy nut. Just stating fact, this is an election year. Anything's possible. But go to GreyWolfWalk.com. GreyWolfWalk.com. Let's try that again. Since I had a problem with it. That's better. So there's the link for GreyWolfWalk.com. And let's get people to understand what it is that we're trying to do. Also, the donations. I know that the Nightbot puts it out, but sometimes people need to see it from me. So that takes you to the donations page. And we do have the link for the Discord. See a couple folks in here. Teriyaki Yaki's out here. It's good. So work on the people that you know. Like, share, subscribe, and turn on the little bell so that you get notifications. Right, that's the same thing. I mean, we might behind the scenes saying, why is this person wearing a mask? But it is their choice to wear a mask. If they choose to, it's their choice. If they choose to get the jab, it's their choice. No one should be saying, you got the jab, I don't want anything to do with you. That's not what this is about. It's about that freedom of choice to get that jab or to not get that jab. I don't want to be told that I have to do it in order for me to keep my job. I've got Dr. Paul Alexander as part of this team. Dr. Pierre Corey is part of the support group of this team. Great folks, very knowledgeable, PhD, cardiological, medical. Some good doctors. People that decide to make the choice because maybe they are scared. Yeah, when this thing first started, within the first couple of weeks of the starting, I was wondering what I was going to do. I set up home deliveries and set up a table outside to deliver them. Don't bring them into my house till I've sprayed everything down with Lysol. I was one of those people too, because that was their goal, was to scare us. We'll get you. Over there bugging you too? get him. Get him there, Abby. So, yeah. So, a lot of people have a lot of good ideas, and I want to get this thing, I feel like I've got the rocket ship. I'm shy of the fuel to get it into orbit. And it's up to you to help me get it into orbit. All right, Michelle Bell, when you first come in, you'll wind up in a general area, the welcome room, I believe. Let me see. So let's see here. I'm going to look real quick. Let's take a few minutes here to look at the folks that are in here. Booty ooty. I'm not real good at this. So we'll buzz down through here and see if somebody needs to be upgraded. From just coming into Discord. When you first come in, you just see the welcome room. That's all you see. And then you have to have an assignment done to your screen name in order for you to come into the other locations. So it looks like everybody has the correct status on them now. So we've got, is there anybody else that's in the welcome room? Let's see, we have got. I see Judy Van Dyke in there. Man, brazen. There's Michelle. Looks like Michelle is now set. Ignore. Ignore. All right, good. So it looks like we got some folks. You bet, Michelle. Let me go back over here so I'm not. Freedom 1961 is in the house. Hey, Canada. So, yeah. I don't know what more I can say. I'm just, you know, what we're going to wind up doing here today is like we did yesterday. We set the table up. I don't know if Mr. T is, if they've done anything with the table or not. Get you. We'll get you. Still. All right, beautiful. I can't get this fly boy. He's fast. He keeps coming right up to me. Oh yeah, Mr. T has a new hat. So that's the other thing that we need to be looking at. We've got supporters that are part of this team that need a little help here and there. And if you want to help, Mr. T's information is also in he's the support driver. His information is also in the description. Any help would go a long way. So, see some more folks are coming in. Looks like I might have created. Oh man, thank you so much. That was unexpected. Thought I was going to have to end the stream and head on out. There we go. So we have got some folks showing up. I see Flutterbys in there. I see Teriyaki Yaki's in there. Judy Van Dyke's in there. Mr. T and his hat. Mr. T. Mr. T.
Yes, sir.
Take a look in. Show him your hat.
Show him the hat.
Show
There's
him
the hat.
There's the hat. That's Mr. T's new hat.
Love it.
Yep. So this little guy is really
still irritating you.
Yeah. Look. Come on. Can't seem to catch him.
Shot us off.
Thank you, sir. So that's what we're going to wind up doing. I was going to show you the table and such.
Grab that too.
Get the salt. And I'm going to get that guy. I'm going to get him. Here you go, Mr. T.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
No, stay. Stay.
Yeah, Douglas. I guess that would give you a little bit of a zap, like an electric fence kind of thing, right? I actually had one fly land on this thing, but I didn't have the trigger pulled. They just are so quick. It's almost like they know you're coming with it. It's crazy. Yeah, I've got a I have a flashlight that's also a taser. I was sitting there in Hagerstown one time, and I wasn't pushing the button, but I had shown somebody and was playing with it and touched myself, and there was still some residual zap left in it. And it was woohoo, man! So I can imagine what that thing would do. Put it on your nose or something. I don't even want to touch it even after I've let go of the trigger. But yes. Thank you, Captain Kurt. So that's the task, man. Let's get as many people as we possibly can screaming freedom. And that's what the sign says, by the way. I was going to show you, but the sign actually says, "Come talk about freedom." The sign that goes on the table. It says, "Come talk about freedom." We've got a little Miss Rayette brought a windsock, flags, all kinds of stuff. So we've got a windsock out there to try and grab some attention, get some breakfast and set that up. I know you on the East Coast, breakfast is already done, but sausage links. Rumor has it that somebody's having some vinyl made up for the trailer that says "Freedom" in great big letters for the sides. So I think I'm going to end for the day here. Make sure you hit that like button. Hit that thumbs up. And share it to other streams too. You know, do a copy of the link and take it out and paste it onto your all of that. In fact, I'm going to hit the share right now. I'm going to copy the link, and I'm going to go put it on my Truth Social and post it up there. See? I'm telling you, he's got a death wish. I know he's going to hit this thing one time. That's all he needs to do is once. Alright, so I just posted a share link out to Truth Social. And it would be nice if you all did the same thing. Get it on your Truth Social. I'm GreyWolfRon on Truth Social, by the way. Relatively new to the Truth Social world, but I'm there. So I'm going to go ahead and get into my breakfast. We are planning that community walk tomorrow morning. 9 o'clock, just outside, just west of Delta. And we get that walk going, a couple of miles, spend a little time with those that have come in, and we'll walk out of town, and then we'll bounce to Eureka, Utah. We'll get up and work our way into Spanish Fork and talk to people along the way, as many as we possibly can. And we are streaming right now to 7 streams. So I was just looking at that. So let me try and look at the comments real quick. Thank you, Silent. So if you know anybody in Delta or Eureka or Spanish Fork or Payson, Utah, let them know we're coming. Let them know we need people to show up. So with that, I'm going to say I love all of you. Let's put this freedom movement in high gear. Get out. Let's go and do this. Let's walk. Let's talk. Let's let them know that we're going to do this. You're not going to squash us like you've done everything else. It's not happening. We're not going to let it happen. So join in, and let's let our voices be heard as one. So I'm going to say good morning, good afternoon, whichever zone you're in. God bless you, and God bless the United States.